Boom, here we go. Our trade is in more than $60,000 of profit, and on today's update video I will be quickly discussing this trade, what my next steps are with this exact trade we took on the channel. I will talk about the most important Bitcoin patterns, the most important Bitcoin support and resistance levels, the liquidity of course, and where Bitcoin is most likely heading towards next. And yes, I will be discussing my exit strategy on my trade and many more important stuff we need to discuss right now, because for the first time ever we've actually seen inflows on the spot Bitcoin Grayscale ETF. And just like I said many times before, ETF money is dumb money, and I will be explaining it in today's update video. So without any further ado, sorry for the bad quality, but I'm currently traveling and this is usually the only way on how I can make a video. And since the market is so interested, I'm still recording a video for you guys. So don't forget to slap that like button back above 1,000 likes. That will be highly appreciated. And with that being said, let me jump straight away in towards the content. So here on the imminent short term, we can straight away start to see Bitcoin is creating a massive falling wedge pattern, and we're currently once again knocking against that resistance on the top side. And you can clearly see we've been already seeing more rejections than 5 times in a row actually. And really, once we're going to be breaking above this level right now, this time around, we're going to see a very important shift in trend if Bitcoin does break above the downward sloping trend line on the falling wedge pattern. My price target of the falling wedge pattern is of course the top side of the wedge, and from this point onwards it's still another 16% move towards the upside, which is absolutely insane to reach the top side of the region. And yes, that is also my target for my trade here. I mean, currently I'm already in a $60,000 profit, and yes, I shared this trade from step to step with you guys out there. If you go back towards my channel, you can even see that 2 videos ago I was in a loss, and I showed it as well in my trade on the channel, of course. So I opened up that $1 million Bitcoin trade, like I said that I was going to do on 58,000 US dollars. Boom, I did it, and now it's in a significant profit. But what is of course the next step with the trade? That is of course the thing we want to be knowing. So still, if I'm looking at the liquidation heat map, there is still the majority of the liquidity is being built up above us, which means that of course most likely Bitcoin is still going to be going higher from this point, because Bitcoin always follows the liquidity. And if we're going to be looking about how much the difference is here, I mean around $70,000, we're going to be still seeing more than 8 billion US dollars worth of liquidations, which is of course quite insane. And on the lower side, it's a significant less amount of liquidations on Bitcoin. So still, most likely Bitcoin is going to be running up. And if we're going to be looking at the liquidation heat map, we can clearly see that the first big level of liquidations and the first big level of liquidity is laying somewhere around 67,000 US dollars. And there we're going to be most likely going to be seeing more than $2 billion worth of liquidity. And yes, if we go there, we're of course going to be seeing a massive short squeeze, because there are so many short orders that are going to get liquidated if we're going to be hitting that level. So super excited for that. And yes, I think it most likely Bitcoin is going to be going towards that level. And yes, I've said it also so many times before, but 20% corrections, or like 20 to 23% corrections in this bull market, are an opportunity you should not be fading. And really, if I'm going to be looking at this bull market so far, every single time so far we've seen a 20 to 22% correction, and that is quite massive if you would ask me here. We're seeing every single time a massive correction in the market, and every single time once we're seeing correction in the region of 20 to 24%, it is basically an opportunity you should be taking with both hands. And that is also what I did. I saw the opportunity and took the opportunity with both hands, and now I am making a significant profit on my Bitcoin position. And yes, I quickly want to be pointing out that if you want to be trading yourself, and if you potentially got yourself that free $200 trade you could be currently claiming in the link description of today's video while joining my trade, you would have also already made more than, let me say this correctly, more than 63% profits. So yes, if you are interested in trading yourself, check out the link here above my face, or of course below the video description, because if you click on that link, you will get a free $200 position on Bybit for only signing up an account and depositing $100 into your account. So if you're interested in trading, check it out in the link description of today's video. But currently, still, while everything is happening, while we are trading Bitcoin, there are still, the majority of people are actually bearish. Because if we're looking at the sentiment on Twitter, you can see it, because so many people on Twitter were bearish on $58,000 and were still bearish. While I was only like one of the few guys out there that actually was extremely bullish. And I was, of course, convinced. And I said, everyone out there, I'm freaking convinced Bitcoin is going to go higher. And of course, due to my conviction, I took this trade. So what we're also seeing right now here is that the funding rates are still negative. And that means that, first of all, I'm getting paid to be in this position, which is, of course, extremely nice. And that also means that the majority of the traders are actually trading short. So that is also the reason why we're having this big short liquidation laying above us. So if I'm looking at the funding rate heat map, we can see that funding rates were going extremely negative, and boom, Bitcoin squeezes up higher. And what is currently happening, still the funding rates are negative while we're sitting around 63,000 US dollars. So that is quite insane if you would ask me. Bitcoin is recovering so strongly, and you can see that every single time once the funding rates go negative, Bitcoin always squeezes up higher, because that is the point that, of course, the most amount of people are trading short. So yeah, I'm still bullish because funding rates are still negative. And what is also actually quite interesting is that GBTC, so Grayscale, actually saw its first inflow on the spot Bitcoin ETF. And yeah, yesterday as well, we saw more than $350 million worth of inflows. But just like I said many times before, it just proves the point again that spot ETF money is dumb money. So if we're seeing large outflows on a day, please don't get fooled that, oh fuck, the riches are selling, so we should be going down. No, they literally sold the biggest outflow ever on the exact volume on Bitcoin, and the largest inflow ever was at the all-time high on Bitcoin. So spot ETF money looks to be dumb money, and honestly, of course, it's nice that we're having some inflows, but very interesting what we are currently seeing, because they are once again buying loads and loads of Bitcoin while we already been bouncing, and they've sold loads and loads of Bitcoin while we're sitting at the deepest point of the correction. So please don't get too fooled about the data that we're getting in from up there. But if we're also looking at the weekly picture on Bitcoin right now, we're having just a massive weekly retest, and Bitcoin is just exactly bouncing from that weekly resistance, which is right now flipping into support, of course. So this is, of course, a very good thing to be seeing. And honestly, this weekly candle we're currently creating is just looking hella bullish if you had asked me. So Bitcoin sitting around $63,000. We're currently, of course, creating a Bitcoin CME future gap. So I'm not really expecting we're going to get a lot of movement over the course of the weekend, but that's a very normal thing to be seeing, of course, right? So what I'm expecting and what I would love to see here is that Bitcoin breaks above this high, because if we break above this high I'm currently drawing, we are going to be seeing an even bigger reversal in the market, because then we're taking out that previous liquidity. And if we're taking out this previous liquidity right here, I'm expecting that the rally is most likely going to continue even further towards the upside, but already the recovery is showing us a lot of strength. And most likely this is an indication that Bitcoin indeed is going to be pushing much, much higher. So interesting to be seeing here. And also if we're looking at the daily time frame, Bitcoin is seeing that daily downward slope and resist line. This is the level we need to be breaking. So this is the pattern we should be watching. The falling wedge pattern is one of the most important patterns right now we should be paying attention towards. So this was it for me in today's update video, guys. If you did enjoy the content, don't forget to slap on the like button on today's update video. And I hope to see you guys back tomorrow on another update video here on my channel. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace out. Goodbye.